Okay, hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Theology of Everything video edition.
Yes,
We are continuing down our list of the apparently 14. It's a lot of videos, Adam.
that is a lot. But I mean, pretty standard for an album,
An
I would
album.
say.
It's true. Yeah,
But it is
that's
a
true.
lot when we're taking like 30 minutes per song.
Yeah, it's a huge amount of our life. But it's a huge amount of your life if you're watching this. So we appreciate you being along for this part of your life and the ride. But we are moving into the song Faithful Then, Faithful Now from the Elevation album When Wind Meets Fire, I think is what it said.
Yeah. So this will be track 4, right?
Yeah, When
Okay.
Wind Meets Fire. That's an odd. I guess I hadn't really thought about the title of the album, but okay.
Well, yeah, it's weird because the picture on like the album art is a
Mhm.
lightning bolt in the shape of lungs, but I'm not
Oh,
sure what that
weird.
has to do with wind meeting fire. But
I don't know. I know that they use apparently on the track list here. There's one where they use the name Yahweh, and
I
Yahweh, the
did
way
see
it's
that.
meant to be, well, the way it's meant to be said is like a breath. It's meant to mimic your breath. So be,
Yeah.
so maybe that's why it's like lungs.
Yeah. But I don't know what that has to do with the album title. Now, there is a track that's called When Wind Meets Fire, so maybe that will explain what the phrase
It will
means.
illuminate.
Yeah.
It will illuminate. Although, based on the 33% success rate so far, I don't know how illuminating it's going to be. They like to be vague.
Yeah. Well, I guess we'll see. We like one, so maybe we'll like others.
Maybe.
All right.
All right.
Shall we do
This is a
this?
very, very long song. So, even more so than before, I think I'm going to try to skip.
Yeah, if it starts getting
Or
repetitive.
I could see if I could. Is there a way to, how do you watch it in? I could watch it in faster.
Can you do that on YouTube?
Yeah. To do 1.5. Let's do it in two and see how crazy it is. No.
Yeah. Alvin and Theodore will be
Yeah.
worshiping Yahweh.
Stephen Furtick will come out and be like, just pretty close to what it sounds like when he preaches. Okay, here we go. Ready?
All
I am
right.
putting in a 1.5. We'll see if this is even
All
doable.
right, we'll try this. Yeah.
Once again, using images. We're not Daniel, y'all. Now, the same God and the lesson that's applied to Daniel can apply to us, but we are not Daniel. You're not actually in a lion's den. So,
Well, and also the water in the wilderness.
oh, yeah.
That's like a Moses and the Israelites reference, I would presume.
Yes. Also, the first time that happened, it was good. The second time that happened, it's actually what caused Moses to not be able to enter the promised land. So
Yeah.
maybe be a little careful with that. Although it is an image that's based in Jesus. Like it's if you read those if you ever do a study of like Christ types in the Old Testament, like images of Christ, like Noah's Ark and Isaiah willingly sacrificing himself on the mountain and everything. Like the water from the rock, that is actually a picture of Christ. So, it's not 100% out of place here, but you do have to be kind of careful when you're being vague.
Yeah.
It is weird also, and I think this is just something you and I've talked about, the consistency, but like a lot of like the mercy with the morning sun, water in the wilderness, defender in the lion's den, all of those are like biblical images, but then hope when I'm hanging by a thread, it's like modern image. I don't know.
Yeah, they're kind of mixing their metaphors.
Or just mixing their eras. It's a
Yeah.
little it's jarring to me, but it does rhyme. I guess that's what you have to ish rhyme ish. Technically, again, doesn't rhyme with thread. But I digress.
Yeah, well, that's what we've also said before, where just in the uh, with the intent to be artistic, you kind of do some things that might not do justice to the actual Word of God or
Yeah,
the idea that comes from the Word of God.
yeah,
So,
yeah.
okay,
But I like the music. The music's really good so far.
yeah,
It's
yeah,
upbeat.
yeah, definitely.
All right, cool. Here we go. Okay, that's a good line there. The like we were talking about in this one of the songs we just did, one of the earlier songs on the album, the idea that it was Jesus, God's love. Although this does make it's still the same issue of like who the love is directed to, but it is love that holds him to the cross, not the what's that modern like that it's uh spiritual child abuse or whatever. It's like something like cosmic child
Oh,
abuse, whatever the phrase is.
yeah. See, temporary tomb, I kind of like that idea because that's definitely true, but
Mm-hmm.
that's also more of like an artistic way of saying it with the alliteration.
Mm-hmm.
So, I like that. Sealed
Mm-hmm.
by stone, more alliteration.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And we are about to hit that like if God is for us, who is against us, which I think was in our episode about the God works all things together for my good verse. That's always, even as I say that, that's not actually what the verse is. Ouch! Just hit my head on the wall.
Yeah, God works
The
everything for. See, now I have your extra like thing. God works everything for the benefit of those who love Him, who are called according to His purpose. Yeah.
Yes, yeah, and so this idea of I feel like that would be one that we could easily go into as well, going through a word root situation and talk about what does that actually mean. The God is for us, who can be against us? Because they're about to use that phrase too. But
Yeah, which is
but
often
you
used
guys
in
should,
songs.
yes, and you guys should know the fuller context now if you've listened to that episode of the whole passage. Okay. Anyway, all right, here we go. Okay,
Well,
so being
so
charitable. Go ahead.
we get the opportunity to be on God's side. He's not on our
That's true.
side.
That's a good point.
And that's something that really bugs me.
Yeah. Yeah, we're just peons in the relationship. We're just lucky. We're what's the image my pastor used about the yoke? And he was like, God is like the oxen and you're like a sheep or a goat that's stuck in it and is like acting like you're helping, but your legs aren't even touching the ground. Or another one he uses that I actually prefer is he talks about when fathers allow their kids to like help them repair the car or help them do the dishes, or help a mom lets a kid help me cook, and the kid is like, I'm doing this, and in reality you're not doing anything.
Yeah.
you know all the work is being done by your father or your mother. So, and that's a cool image too.
I remember when I was a kid, this was long before I learned how to play guitar. My uncles played guitar, and they were the ones that taught me how to play. But this was long before that. And I remember sitting in a circle where they were playing, and all these people were singing, all like family members, and I was there just kind of banging on this guitar. And I thought I sounded amazing because I'm hearing the other people playing the guitar.
And all of them loved you and were like, yeah, good job, Adam,
Yeah.
like, but in reality it's like that was a lot of noise. Which is probably why God says make a joyful noise. No, just kidding.
I was
Jumping things
making
out
a
of
joyful
context.
noise, that's for sure.
um But I was gonna say, so maybe being charitable, maybe since Stephen Furtick apparently helped write this song, maybe he has, although he hasn't come out and said this, but maybe he has repented of his heresy that there was something that Christ couldn't do, which was a pretty controversial thing he said, I think a year or two ago, where he said Christ couldn't overcome your belief. But here, nothing is impossible for him. So there isn't anything Christ can't do. So maybe
Yeah.
he's changed and grown in that. But it would be good for him to come out and say that that was a mistake.
Yeah. In
Anyway.
his defense, it probably wouldn't
Mm-hmm.
go viral if he corrected that. So maybe he has, and we just haven't heard about it.
That's probably true. Although I think some of the channels I follow would probably, if he did that, I feel like some of the channels I follow would probably point that out. But you're right. You're right.
Yeah.
All right, here we
That's
go.
only hope.
Yeah. Okay, here we go. Okay, I gotta be honest. The dancing and the mugging, it actually kind of bugs me, but whatever. Like that kind of, I don't know. Whatever, it's fine. Dancing is, if you're joyful, dancing's great. So, um,
Yeah, it's just I think the camera work really, like, they're right in the people's face, and it's like all
yeah,
these fast, quick cuts. It's just kind of jarring.
yeah. Yeah, and there's like, because there's a guy in the audience that does it too. Is like very mugging, like, and it's just like, okay, whatever. All right, all
Like
right,
kind of putting
continue.
a show on for the camera. Is that what
Yes,
you're saying? Yeah,
yes, yes, yeah.
yeah,
But I know that this is how their worship actually is too. So it's probably just normal. But and it's a pretty jumpy song. Like I really don't have a problem other than I think that there's a difference between just worshipfully dancing and then being performative. But okay, so all I'll say is that this guy, we've seen him dancing in other videos, so I'm sure it's just a natural thing. I just want to be clear. Like, I'm sure it's just how he does his worship, but I think it's a pretty thin line. It's the same thing as like when we were talking about all those songs ago, where it's a thin line between being excited because your pastor's on stage and hero worship.
yeah.
So,
It is a
yeah.
thin line, and I think it's just up to each individual to know why they're doing it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I mean, even participating in this whole night where you're there for the recording, are you there to say you're at the recording, or are you there because it's a worshipful time of our God?
Yeah.
And I think there's going to be a mix of both for a lot of people.
Yeah.
But I think if you're only there because you want to say you were at the elevation recording, I think that's where it's problematic. If that's your only reason to be there.
Yeah. That's where you have that, just a very thin line because we can so easily move. Like I was just talking about the fact that you could move from righteous anger into self-righteousness so easily that it's just, you gotta, I mean, what's every thought needs to be taken captive. So, and the purpose of this kind of music is to eliminate the thoughts, right? So it's just to get you in your feels and not thinking. So I feel like there's probably some blurred lines.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Oh,
Yeah.
I forgot that song. Okay, anyway, now I remembered it. Annoying. Okay, whatever. All right, moving on.
Well, let's go ahead and just pause it there. The Stephen Furtick appearance thing is weird. I mean, we're kind of making a joke of it because it's funny in one way, but it's like, all right, he came out for the first song. They had that moment, and then like a couple songs later, he's back, but he's not
Mm-hmm.
there for the whole song. He kind of just appears in the middle of the song. That's weird.
Yeah, and it's from where? Like, I don't know where he comes from. Like,
Well,
I
it's
guess they jump cuts. They're like
backstage.
looking at, yeah, they're like looking at the audience when he appears on stage. But like, it does seem like he just appears out of nowhere,
Yeah, I mean the camera. Yeah, they'll just kind of.
which is why I'm always joking about like when he like races up from the floor, he jumps down from the ceiling, or he
It does
like
kind of
comes
seem
out
that
of a
way
bunch of
from the
smoke.
video.
Anyway.
But besides all that, this is the part of the song it's not really worshiping God. Now we're all of a sudden, because the whole time we're saying you've never run out of faithfulness, but now we're
Hmm.
saying I know something about faithfulness. Never stop singing. It's just all of a sudden now it's focused on
Yeah,
us.
it's tricky though because what they're saying, because I looked ahead in the lyrics, and what he's gonna do is he's gonna jump into a bunch of songs, like other songs that are classics in the church, probably that Furtick grew up singing. And so it would probably be a similar to thing to, like, if I was to sit and read through all of the scriptures I have little um reminders of because of moments where I've been shown God's faithfulness. So I think that that's what they're saying. It is funky language, but I think that that's where it's going, is like, I know something about faithfulness, but it's not me being faithful. I know something about God's faithfulness. But the way that it should be, I know something about his faithfulness, or I know something about God's faithfulness. Um Maybe just remove the word about and just say I know God's faithfulness, something, because it is a weird lyric, but I think, to be generous back, I think that that's where it's going.
Okay. Yeah, it just seemed like a weird change where
Yeah.
that could be just a different song.
Yes. Yeah. Well, and they kind of stopped and then started too.
Yeah,
So
that was interesting. Yeah.
yeah. So okay, here we go. But
He almost has a mullet.
well, yeah, whatever's stylish when this was recorded. Um, he's got this, like, it's got a got like a going into an old school gospel kind of feel musically,
Yeah.
which is interesting. And then I do think, I was just thinking about the you say, look what the Lord has done, as he's looking out over his church. I mean, I don't know if I would blame God for elevation, but, well, blame is kind of a, well, that reveals something of how I think, so maybe I shouldn't use that word. But um I don't know if I would 100% claim that everything that happens at elevation is God. But because there's a lot about it that I think uh works into the, like, scratching itching ears and false teaching stuff. So based on sermons, based on doctrine, guys. But it would be kind of amazing, as Stephen Furtick, who started this from nothing, he did start this church from nothing, to see it into the multi-million-dollar thing that it is. And you could say that that was God's faithfulness.
Well, usually that is what they say.
Yeah.
A church like
So,
that, that's, I mean, Benny Hinn says that kind of thing, you know.
right.
So I think
But
that's the mindset
same
that
problem. Yeah.
they think they're doing the right thing and God is blessing them, and that's why it's so big.
Yeah. But the fact is, like Bodhi Bakum says, like, the it's big because the Bible is true, and it says that people will want stuff that won't challenge them. So Um. Okay. Anyway, so yeah. All right. But that would be another reason maybe why he came out at this point, is because he's about to talk about, it musically, talk about how everything has grown and changed in
Yeah,
elevation. So okay,
cool.
we just quit before the best part. Victory in Jesus, my Savior forever. He sought me and
Sought
bought
me and bought
me
me. Yeah.
with his redeeming blood.
Yep. Well, I think
Whatever.
it's looks like they're just doing
Yeah, like I
small
said earlier.
snippets. Yeah.
Yeah, they're
Yeah.
doing, like, songs that probably have mattered to Furtick in his life.
Yeah. Although weird, weird that within your song you're just throwing in these other songs.
Um,
But I don't like. I mean, even what Chris Tomlin does, I don't like that where he just kind of writes a bridge to an existing song and makes money off of it. But
yeah,
this is even in some ways weirder to me. You're
yeah.
just kind of throwing in snippets.
Well, and, like, I know that this is what they say, but the way they're presenting it makes me think this is basic. That's why I keep saying I think it's like Stephen Furtick's life, which is a little like, okay, but so are you talking about God or are you talking about you? Because yes, these songs are about God, but now we're like doing like a mini, it's like a mini-sode of
Yeah.
Stephen Furtick's spiritual journey
Right.
in song. Broadway in
Yeah.
song. Like, okay.
Stephen Furtick, the musical.
Once more
Well,
with feeling.
and I could even see this being sort of appropriate in church on just a regular Sunday where you are in the
Yeah.
middle of your song and then you just kind of throw in these other
Yeah.
hymns to kind of tie it all together. But it's weird when
And
this is the song that you have recorded and are releasing.
yeah. Yeah. Yeah, that is kind of odd. So he's doing this thing where he's like calling the other ones to sing a song that is important to them because he's like, "What you got to say?" or something. The weird thing is though they had to pick these ahead of time because they're all in the same key. They're singing them in like the same key and the same beat. So
Yeah, I'm not sure what they're doing. I think they're just kind of throwing in because they're about to talk
because
about
in the
Silas. They're
well,
about to talk about uh, they're going to call over to Leland. So, like, one of the vocalists is about to sing about his
yeah,
faithfulness.
that's what I'm saying. Isaiah Templeton has his own thing, so I think that that's going to be another song, and then Leland's going to sing a different song that he maybe one that he's written. Um, and then the other guy says like, "This is the day that the Lord has made; we will rejoice and be glad in it." That old song. So I think that maybe he's calling to other people for a song that
Yeah, I don't
matters to
know.
them, but I'd want to know.
I've
His
never
was
heard it,
clearly
so I
like
don't
an
know.
old. Yeah, I mean, his was clearly like an old hymn. I'm wondering what these other people's songs are. It's like, oh yeah, let me sing a song that I wrote. Anyway, what do you know about it,
Yeah,
Silas? That's what it says.
from the lyrics of I don't know what song that is. I guess we'll just have to hear it.
Okay.
So
Yeah, see, that's like must be some song that he used to sing in his church or something
yeah,
before he came to
I'm not familiar
Elevation.
with that song.
That haircut is wonky.
Yeah, it's almost like a mullet. It's almost a mullet.
I mean, that's the style is to have the sides shaved and the top curly and poofy
Yeah, but it looks
like
like the back is also
cotton balls.
long.
Yeah, it's weird. Um yeah, I mean, so that's yeah, I don't know though. Like even that moment that's hard because I didn't feel like they were cheering. Maybe they were cheering for the song, but they were also cheering for him singing so great. So
Yeah.
it's like we're singing about God's faithfulness, but we're really showing off.
Well, yeah, it's almost like guitarist going back and forth with a solo, but
Yeah,
it's the vocalist doing it. So now we got this guy doing it. Then we're gonna throw it to Leland. Then we're gonna throw it to someone else.
yeah.
Um,
But you know
Joe
what? Maybe
Barnes.
this,
I'm not sure who that
like you said
is.
earlier, maybe this is like a gospel church thing.
Yeah, but I think well, even if it is, which I think it is, I don't think it's right because just what you're
Yeah.
saying, you're making the focus on the vocalist. It's not
Mm-hmm.
about God. We've
Mm-hmm.
completely like the song that we liked for the first 4 minutes or whatever is
Yeah.
completely gone. It's not about
Yeah.
God anymore. It's all about let's just sing to show. Like it feels like it's just to show off, like you're saying, and
Yeah.
it
It's
feels
like
like you've taken the people out of
yeah.
the moment of worship of God.
Mm-hmm. It's like vocal hacky sack.
Yeah,
Like here, you catch it and see, show us the tricks you can do.
yeah, 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 exactly.
Interesting. All right.
So yeah, I don't like this anymore.
Yeah. The original song wasn't bad. The second song that's smushed to it is not
Right.
great.
Yeah, agreed.
So I guess what would that be? 50-50 on one song. So that's 1.5 to 3.5. I
Yeah,
have to do the math on
yeah.
that. All right, here we go. Okay. Yeah, I really love that song. That's what my mom used to sing to me when I was a kid. And not the annoying one she sang to make us wake up. That was when we used to sing in the car together. You know, my mom used to
Yeah.
do that. She used to wake us up with the rise and shine and
Yep.
give
Give
God
God the
glory,
glory.
glory.
Yep. We would have that at camp. Yeah. At camp, they would come in and wake us up with that.
Yeah,
And then in the later years, it became Good Morning by Mandisa.
I don't know that one.
Do you know that? Okay, well,
No.
it's also annoying.
I mean, that song's only annoying because my mom would sing it at 6 in the morning. But and not that my mom's voice is annoying, but hearing that at 6 in the morning is
Yeah.
not to wake you up. That's not great. Anyway, no, my mom has a beautiful voice, as you know. All right, here we go.
I think this song is pretty much done, right? I
Okay,
think we got the picture.
I think so too.
Yeah. So yeah, a good song starting out, and then it just got
I,
weird. It got away from worshiping God. It became
I,
about the vocalists. Yeah,
yeah, I
not
will
a
say
fan.
it lives up to the thing we said at the very beginning, which is there's this weird fine line, and I feel like the song illustrated it for you beginning to end. Like started out decently worshipful and devolved into man. You
Yeah.
know, it's just interesting.
Well, it's just a testament to how easy it is to get caught up in this theology because it is a fine line. It's a
Mhm.
fine line between talking about how much God loves me, and then making it all about me.
Yep.
And there's a lot of things like that where it's just one small step the wrong way and you're completely off track. So
A
yeah,
giant leap for
great point.
mankind.
Yeah. Yeah,
Off
exactly.
a cliff.
Yeah.
All right, y'all. Well, thanks for joining us and sticking with us to the end. Uh, Give us a comment or a like or a follow or subscribe. Find us on Instagram, where we will be posting both this and our links to our episodes, our audio episodes. But I guess, yeah, until next time, I guess we'll sign off. I don't know.
Yeah, see y'all next time.
Bye.